When it comes to the fate of the Dallas Cowboys, stubborn mistakes by their owner, Jerry Jones, have set the stage for what could be one of the franchise's most tumultuous moments in recent memory. And here's the catch. Most of the ongoing narrative has become so predictable it's bordering on dull. But beneath the surface, there's a riveting story of risk, ego, and shift, one that could redefine the NFL landscape. At 82 years old, Jerry Jones, often dubbed the Gambler, is a figure whose relentless pursuit of another Super Bowl rings loudly through every decision he makes. Known for his flair for the drama, whether it's theatrics, during negotiations, or dramatic standoffs, Jones has a reputation for acting impulsively, yet ultimately managing to close deals at the last second that seem like career-saving moves. Across the league, the Green Bay Packers serve as the polar opposite. Without an individual owner and with a rich history of patience and prudence, the Packers have traditionally relied on a draft-and-develop philosophy. They prefer consistent, low-risk moves, hardly ever making headlines with flashy acquisitions or big-money splashes, a stark contrast to personalities like Jones. Until now. And this is where the story truly accelerates. Last Thursday, a seismic shakeup struck the NFL, one of the biggest trades in league history. It's a blockbuster move that shatters stereotypes about both franchises. Just a week before Dallas's opening game against their NFC East rivals, Philadelphia, Jones traded star pass rusher Micah Parsons to the Packers for 2 first-round draft picks plus Kenny Clark, a 3-time Pro Bowler and veteran defensive tackle. On paper, this move seems generous for the Cowboys, yet it doesn't scream all in for the upcoming season. With a rookie head coach, Brian Schottenheimer still untested, and ongoing issues with Parsons, who has been embroiled in a contract standoff with the team, Jones finds himself in a tricky spot. His usual flair for hype doesn't conceal the reality. Dallas might be further from a championship than they were just days ago, especially given their current turmoil. Meanwhile, the Packers are embracing change with open arms, finally shedding the long era of complacency that followed the glory days of Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, legendary quarterbacks who carried the franchise on their shoulders for decades. With this trade, Green Bay signals it's done holding back, willing to risk more now than it ever did during years of conservative strategy, paying Parsons an astonishing $188 million over 4 years, more than any non-quarterback in NFL history, puts the Packers firmly in the gambling arena. Now, as they prepare to face the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field in their season opener, Packers fans might consider swapping their familiar "Go Pack Go" chants for a more daring go-for-broke attitude. As for Dallas, owner Jones can try to console himself with the logic that acquiring Kenny Clark and the draft capital still holds long-term promise. But reality is tough to ignore, unless the Cowboys manage to resurrect their Super Bowl hopes soon. This trade will likely be remembered as a costly misstep. Fans are already piling on, especially after Jones's sleight of hand with Parsons. His attempt to sidestep NFLPA protocols by engaging with Parsons directly and excluding the player's agent backfired spectacularly. When Parsons refused to accept the deal Jones touted, the owner refused to budge, further alienating both the player and the fan base. Things only worsened when Jones publicly insulted Parsons' agent on a popular podcast, claiming that negotiations had broken down because the agent told the team to stick it up their ass. Yes, that's real. And no, it wasn't particularly helpful. Meanwhile, Jones appeared to underestimate Parsons' resolve, particularly since Parsons cited a back injury and might have been prepared to sit out games rather than accept a deal under duress. In the end, Jones blinked first. He got a decent return, but it might be too little, too late, especially when many in Dallas now draw disturbing parallels to disastrous decisions like trading Luka Doncic from the Mavericks. If only Jones had traded Parsons earlier, perhaps in April when draft picks from Green Bay were more immediately useful, instead of waiting until now when the franchise risks wasting another season. Meanwhile, at Lambeau, the Packers are dreaming big, the hope that this bold move pushes them closer to a Super Bowl, just as the signing of Reggie White did decades ago. With a track record of playoff appearances under coach Matt LaFleur, Green Bay's front office now exudes a new aura of ambition, one that makes Jerry Jones's cautious gamble look increasingly outdated. And what about Jones's ongoing fame as a TV personality thanks to his Netflix series? Does he secretly envy the Packers' gutsy, high-risk approach? Possibly, because in truth, he just parted ways with one of the franchise's brightest stars due to his own stubbornness, short-sightedness, and underestimating his opponents. So, here's a question for all NFL fans and skeptics alike. Are you convinced that Jones's refusal to adapt will cost Dallas in the long run? Or do you believe that this gamble might just turn the tide for the Cowboys? Share your thoughts. There's no doubt this story isn't over yet.